Howdy, friends. Welcome to Repertoire. This is a show about the ideas, experiences, philosophies, and rituals that shape who we are as chefs and cooks. I'm Sammy Mansour, Michelin award-winning chef, cookbook author, and food activist. My life revolves around food and cooking, and I love geeking out about the craft and the culture. In each episode, I travel somewhere new to sit down with chefs and food personalities on their turf for honest, unfiltered conversations. We talk shop, we go deep, we cook. This is part 2 of my conversation with James Beard award-winning chef Ricky Moore, shot live on location at his restaurant Saltbox Seafood Joint in Durham, North Carolina. This episode picks up right where we left off in part 1, which ran long in the best way possible. Rather than cutting it short, we split this episode into 2 parts so you could really sit with the flow of this dialogue. In this second half, Ricky and I go deeper into leadership, culture, and the evolution of American food, but we also riff on hip-hop, creativity, and how rhythm and authenticity connect the kitchen to the music. All right, let's dive back in.
I think about how I self-evaluate constantly, Sammy, constantly. Self-evaluate. Am I doing my job? Am I taking care of my employees? What else can I be doing for them? How can somebody had an issue. How can I have managed that a little bit differently?
Mm-hmm.
Should I allow them to do it? And should I step in? I don't want to step in, and then all of a sudden they feel like I'm being like, daddy of the environment, and they're grown folks and they don't know how to fix it.
Right.
Yeah. How do
Even just having that internal dialogue is so powerful, and I think that being a good business person, like we touched on earlier, you're going to experience failures. It's about how you get up and learn from them and move forward.
Yeah.
Aspiring to be a great leader, which I think that the best chefs that I know, yourself included, is a great leader. And that is not beating yourself up too much about the mistakes you've made, but constantly toiling on how could I be better? How could I provide a better atmosphere for my people? And in a way where, like, even 5 years ago, you could look at what you thought that meant and be impressed at how far you've come. Because it's just part of your mindset. And giving that much thought and love and intention to your people, your family, your work family, it all just ends up going into the food and the service. It's not even like it's a selfish thing.
That's it.
But like, it's, if you're really plugged into the source of what hospitality is, spread the love and the intention to your team, and they'll beam it out to the customer.
It's through osmosis. It's going to happen. It's like, that is the goal. The goal is that if everybody in the environment is happy, it's going to be automatic, right? And people notice that. And it's not going to be forced. It's just a natural thing to do. I have several employees, man, it's in Saltbox now, and they've been with me for average 7 years. 7 years. That's a long time to be working with.
It's great.
Yeah. And I take pride in that.
As you should.
And I don't want them to ever feel comfortable. So I always interject little things, and some people just want that. Some people just want to come to work and do their job and do what you're supposed to do, and that's it. And I accept it, but I also interject at times, hey, you want to do this? Hey, you want to go do this? Hey, come to this event with me. Hey, this, I just want to make sure that they always know that I have so much admiration.
Yeah, I love that.
And I believe in them so much, because you don't have to work here for 7 years.
I love I like to do that too, like share events and be like, like, who's up next? So that they get their chance to get outside and go do something cool. But it's like, we've had people, when you have people that have worked for you for 3, 5, 7, 10 years, right? You tell people that, they give you a lot of credit, and I think it's the credit's due, but I also like to say, I think they like working for me and they like working with me, but you know what else? Maybe more importantly, they like working with each other. That's when you built a good team.
That's it. Amen. That's right. Exactly.
Because you don't want to just have like you can't build a team that's just loyal to you. That's
Right.
not a team.
No.
The team's got to be loyal to themselves.
So
So that when you're not there, they're humming.
Absolutely. The standard is in place. That it's normal. It never changes. And frankly, anybody step out of line, somebody gonna get called out.
It's speaking in we's.
Yeah.
Hey, this is not how we do it.
Yeah.
Right. And that took me a long time to learn the we, you know, and I like to implement the we because it's not about they. There's some people that refer to the workplace as they.
Yeah.
And I'll correct them gently and be like, hey, there's no they here, man.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is they?
Yeah.
Like,
that's right.
I'm one of the owners.
That's right.
And I'm right here. This is we.
We, absolutely.
This is us. This is we.
That's right.
And, you know, when we came up, we were taught to be scared of chef.
Yeah.
And it was like, chef wants it done like this, whether chef was in the kitchen or not.
Right.
I remember I made a vinaigrette with a fucking stick blender. Chef wanted us to make it with a whisk by hand.
Right.
Took me forever.
Right.
Why can't I use a stick blender?
Right.
Because you'll fucking mince you'll puree the shallots.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, fucking later on that day, I thought, well, why don't I just whisk the shallots in after I use the stick blender to create a more stable emulsion much faster?
Makes sense
and
to me.
I did that. And I went around the kitchen and I said, yo, taste this, taste this, taste this. And everybody was like, yo, that's great. Yo, that's a tight emulsion. That's really thick and creamy.
Yeah.
And I said, I used a stick blender. Then I put the shallots in. Nobody was like, dude, good thinking. They said, look, if I were you, I wouldn't be fucking going around the kitchen bragging about how you did it the way chef didn't want you to do it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
That was that was a good lesson learned for that era.
Yeah.
But I had to like grow out of that.
Yeah.
And say like, wait, this is part of the problem with our culture.
Yeah.
Is it's a fear-based culture.
Yeah.
And this is how I want it done.
Right.
And that is the antithesis of hospitality.
Absolutely.
There's no world that exists where hospitality is about one person. It's about everybody.
That's right. That's right, man. I've always been perplexed. And I think about this, and I'm not going to act like I've never been in these environments, but it always trips me out when you got angry chef doing angry things in the kitchen towards their cooks and expect outside of that kitchen everything to be joyful.
Yeah.
How do you produce?
Well, I think it really stems from the brigade system.
Right, right. And I like, I like that system. But it doesn't have to be like that because it just doesn't make sense, man. Like,
but guess what, dude? Like
we can be in a brigade system and be happy about cooking braising our sweet breads or whatever the case may be, and that shit translates. I just always thought it was always upsetting to me. It's like, how in the hell the chef yelling and screaming in the damn kitchen? We supposed to be cooking delicious food. We all in a panic.
Yeah.
Trying to fucking make sure
and
it's
chefs
correct.
Like that, they don't like to cook. They don't go cook home. Like I cook dinner every fucking night, dog. I love cooking. And so you do have to like plug into the joy of that. I mean, and it takes disruptors, like all the disruptors out there, like you and all the other chefs that I know that are like questioning it. And you know, I do my best as well. Of course, I question it, and I it doesn't make any sense to me, and we have to question it. And part of how I think it held down for so long was like, you're not allowed to question this, right? This is the behavior. You don't get to question why we don't use a stick blender.
That's right. Yeah.
No. That's not. We don't question things here.
Right.
But like, listen, this is the human condition, and I'm not making excuses up about it, but like trying to figure out why or how is futile. Because like I can't tell you why or how there was fucking Jim Crow in this country in your lifetime. In your lifetime,
amen.
You weren't allowed to do certain things.
That's right.
Because of the color of your skin.
That's
so
right.
Like, are we really that good at being people yet?
Yes.
Like, of course, workplaces are going to be fucked up too.
Right now today, sundown towns.
It takes us to question this shit and say this ain't right. We could do better.
Right.
But we're also breaking the cycles that we were inserted into as well.
Right.
And that has to be acknowledged.
And that's our job. That's our us, we, me, you, and all of our other colleagues are in specific generations in this business. That's our work. Our industry has been portrayed negatively too much and too long. Okay. And I think it's our work outside of what we do for our businesses and our employees and our customers is to do something to transition us out of that negativity into a positive space. I've had a wonderful time. Let me be clear. I'm gonna say it again. I've had a wonderful time in this business. Believe me, this cooking has taken me all over the planet. I
Yeah.
mean, in all different types of spaces, in all different types of people. I've met people, we've bonded, we've cooked. And so it's like, no, I mean, there is joy in the business. There's a lot of us have spent a lot of time and we still have fun. Now, I'm not disputing any of the underbelly, the trauma.
Yeah.
Okay, that has been the case. But we are in a place now where all of us, because we know it and it's front of mind, we've experienced it ourselves, we can also now take charge and be accountable for changing it. And that's what I believe our work is as
And maybe
senior
like
professionals.
I think maybe like owning your own culture in a way that makes you liable.
Yeah.
And I think what I mean by that is that like we've gone through a really great era of questioning things
Yeah.
recently
Yeah.
in society, in our
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of pushback,
Yeah.
right? Like I think that between the Me Too movement into the now anti-woke
Right.
ism that
Ism,
got
right.
Trump in office,
Right.
and everything that's happened in between that,
Right.
we've gone in some extreme directions here where it was like, let's clean up our act. Let's look at who the fuck the bad actors are. Let's call them out. Let's get them out of the picture.
Right.
And then it kept going. And I think that maybe it was extreme and intentional in a way that sometimes like, a revolution has to be.
Yeah.
But then there was enough people that got upset that it went in the other direction. And,
Right.
and hopefully what we can see is that things shake out in a better place
Yeah.
for everybody. And
Right.
that if anything, we can own our culture and celebrate it with liability. And what I
Right.
mean by that is like, when I tell people, listen, if you can't get down with saying heard,
Right.
like, listen, dude, like I'm trying to train that. It doesn't matter if you're a busser or a barback or a server or a dishwasher or a line cook or you're fucking me.
Right.
Saying heard is cool.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
You'll hear, I'll say to my guys, like, you'll hear me. If you say, hey, chef, I need you to fucking do this. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
again, everybody really in the brigade system has the ability to receive and give orders
Right.
under the right circumstances. So
Yes.
do my people
Yeah.
give me orders? Absolutely. Because I want to create that space for them.
Right.
And when they do, I'll be like, heard.
That's right.
And I'll be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're stepping up.
Yeah.
And so as long as we're accountable for owning that part of the culture and saying
Yeah.
like, listen, I'm not trying to force like a militant system on you. I'm not trying to create a hostile work environment,
Right.
but this is a requirement of your job,
Right.
a callback.
Right. Acknowledgement. It's acknowledging. It is heard is Roger that. 10-4.
Copy.
Copy.
It's
a simple acknowledgement of information received.
Mhm.
That's it. Nothing more, nothing
And
less.
it's part of training. It's part of a bigger system of tools that we have
Yeah.
to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
That's right.
And that when we're conducting the complex symphony orchestra of service,
Yes.
that all of the melodies are in harmony on the plate and in the dining room.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it is so necessary.
Yes.
I'm going to say something really quickly that I
Yep.
want to just, you don't have to answer this because you already did.
Yeah.
There's a pocket of us talking
Yep.
shop about employees that Cassidy, she's always, she'll watch things and she'll be like, no, that's good. Or she'll be like, you guys just might not want to deal with any asshole that wants to comment about this.
Yeah.
So I know where it kind of like we turned it out into a really cool way where we were still saying what we meant, but in a way that puts us in a safe place.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to prompt you for that.
Right.
And I'll be able to use this. I'll cut back in because this is when when we got out of the neck of it where I think it was a little risky. And again, I got to ask Cassidy, you started talking about how when you're interviewing people, you ask them like, how do I make this a healthy job for you?
Right.
So I'm going to almost ask a question like I'm trying to prompt that out of you.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer it. Then we're
Okay.
going to move on.
Okay, good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to bridge it with the gravy thing. So it's like,
Right.
so I love this concept of getting a potential employee to make a gravy as like a practical exam.
Yeah.
What are some other unique ways that you try to like, filter out potential employees while also showing them who you are and what's important to you in the workplace, and letting them know that you're going to give them all of you, your heart and your soul, because I know you do that for your people.
Mhm, mhm. Uh, well,
And again, you already answered
I
that.
did? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, you already, I know that about you now
Yeah,
because you already told me.
right.
So that'll lead us up to that whole conversation if we need to do
Okay,
that.
great.
So
Okay, good stuff.
next up, it is time for us to do the flavorful five.
Favorite 5. Okay.
This is 5 questions I'm asking every guest. They're the
Okay.
same 5 questions this season.
Okay.
And I think you can really learn a lot about a chef
Yep.
with these answers, but also this is like a great cheat sheet for anybody listening or watching to like access some hidden gems
Mm,
and some expert tips.
10-4.
What's the best sandwich you ever had?
The best sandwich I ever had is going to be, woo, boy, sandwich.
I know it's a subjective question. The answer could change from day to day. The
Yeah.
only rule is it can't be one that you made or somebody made for you at home, because that's more of a food memory. I'm talking about a sandwich I could go out if I had the money to buy a plane ticket
Yeah.
or a train ticket or get in the car. I can go get it tomorrow.
Oh dear. Okay. Man, that's such a best sandwich. Shit, man. I'm gonna say I'm so there's a place right outside I don't remember it. My wife would, but there's a place right outside of Washington, DC, where she used to go get cheesesteaks for her office. And it was called the White House, I believe. But that was the most delicious cheesesteak eating experience I had uh, in a while. And this was way back when. So that, I mean, that's the only memory that pops up for me in terms of, you know.
What was so good about it?
So for me, and a lot of things have to do with that, like the temperature of it, when it got to me, where I was at, how I was feeling, my posture when eating it, and what I had alongside of it. But in the immediate anatomy of the sandwich, ratio, okay? Freshness of the bread, the way the meat was shredded correctly as opposed to it being like crumbs. It was shredded meat, it was tender. The cheese was incorporated nicely and it was a nice balance. It wasn't overly cheesy.
What kind of cheese? Was it like a Prove?
It was a white provolone cheese,
Nice.
you know what I mean? And I am not a fan of putting cold condiments on a hot sandwich. So I had mine with cheese, meat, sweet and sour peppers and onions and folded inside. And as I looked at it visually, you know, and you cut it and get a cross section of it, you just look at it and saw meat 85, red 15. You know, so that's what I was talking about. and it was wrapped up in such a way where it maintained the heat. So it took her about 45 minutes to get back to the office, and it was still piping hot.
Okay.
So when I talk about the best sandwich, I'm talking about a lot of different elements. You know, it got to me and it was texturally correct, temperature was right. I was, you know what I mean? Like it was hot, you know what I mean? And
was there any like little stretchy with the cheese, you know, like that little bit of
you know what?
provolone stretchiness?
Thank you for asking that question. I got a problem with that. It bothers me when I got cheese. It's annoying. I want it to be clean. Okay, I don't want all this because now the shit is falling all over my cheek. You know, I got to pull it off. You know, nah. I want it to be.
What a gentleman!
I'm sorry.
I'm prepared to get fucked up messy off a good sandwich.
Dude, I bit into it, man, and it was so good to me. It was so seasoned to me. It was so correct to me, and that's the best sandwich I've had. You know, in this place. Once again, I had to talk to my wife called the White House, but man, they nailed it.
Love that.
Nailed it.
Yo, catch up on a cheesesteak. I
No,
think
no,
that
sir. No, sir.
I think
No,
that it's
sir.
a must.
No, sir. I disagree
Does
strongly.
that upset you?
No, it don't upset me, but nah.
I like that.
Mayonnaise, mayonnaise, mayonnaise. And I need them sweet and sour peppers to kind of help with the richness of the cheese and the mayonnaise, right?
Mhm.
And I need that
Mhm.
outer crust of the bread to be still have integrity,
Mhm.
still be sturdy. So when I bite into it, it doesn't have a crunch, but it has a protective layer. So when I bite into it, it's clean. It's a clean bite.
I do like some mayo on there
Yes.
and the peppers and the onions,
Yeah.
but I do like, to have just like a big thing of like ice cold ketchup
Interesting.
and just maybe like dip a little bite in there every few bites
Yeah,
and just get
interesting.
some cold tangy
Yeah.
ketchup. And a
Yeah.
friend of mine who's from Johnny, he's from
Yeah.
Philly. He
Yeah.
put me onto that. And so I think there's enough people in Philly that do they fuck with the ketchup with the steaks.
True that.
So I like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's controversial.
No,
Some
not
people
at
will
all.
be
It's
like,
preference.
some people will get upset.
Really?
People get upset about condiment usage.
Once
There's
again,
like a condiment usage rights law act of
right.
2000 and douchebag where
Right.
you get to tell me that I'm not allowed to put a fucking condiment on a hot dog, ketchup on a hot dog,
Hey.
shit like that. It's like, shut the fuck up with that, man.
Yeah. You eat what you want to eat, how you want to eat it. There's preferences we're talking about here. I prefer, when I get a cheesesteak, for me, it's something about, and I don't know where or why that is the case, but my vision is that, man, it's I'm gonna say it, gray meat, white cheese, crusty bread, and you have those OD green peppers and red peppers inside. You know what I mean? And it's very tasty. And when you bite into it, once again, like you get that balance there. And I like cooked onions and steak anyway.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thing, man.
What's your favorite street food?
Favorite street food. Let's see here. Favorite street food is going to be the noodles. All the noodle dishes I had in Singapore. One of my favorite places to eat on the planet. I want to say that. Top 3 favorite places to eat on the planet for me is one of them is going to be Singapore. Period.
Right on.
Yeah, and that to me, and
well, what are the other 2?
I'm gonna say London.
Okay.
Is my favorite, and then also Spain, particularly the Basque region. That's favorite places to eat on the planet. I just enjoy, I just recently went there, man, but I just enjoy those.
I've never been to the Basque region, but I've been to Catalonia, Barcelona, Stitches. That's one of my favorite places. Similar but different cuisine. I mean, there's similarities, but there is some unique differences between the 2 regions, with the south and the north. But the food's so fucking good in Spain.
Yeah, I think what I identify with, Sammy, is rice, pork, and seafood combinations going together. I connect with that. I connect with fish that's being preserved. I connect with that. I connect with stewy things and one pot dish things. I connect with eggs and potatoes and onions. The whole tortilla.
I mean, yeah, dude. Like going back on what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The way that I do a Charleston purloo. Is technique wise. Informed by a paella.
Got it. Received.
Again, I'm not trying to interpret it. If I prepared a purloo for you, it would be a purloo.
Right.
It would be a rice and stock and tomato based dish with mirepoix, like Creole Trinity. And I would have some smoked pork in there.
That's right.
And some seafood.
Pork and seafood.
Right. I'm not playing around with that, but how you build up the flavor and develop a texture.
Right.
I think that there's room to play around in that end. And I do think that the Spanish and the Italians that were part of the settlers brought some good techniques, especially the Spanish. From what I've studied, what I understand, probably the techniques of the Spanish kitchen have best infused their way into North America and Central America in developing what these cuisines have become.
Right. I when we went to the Bass region, man. There's a traditional dish. It's basically salted cod.
Bacalao.
Well, yeah, bacalao. But there's the dish is essentially poaching the bacalao inside the olive oil,
Mm.
and then the sauce is pretty much the emulsion of the olive oil and the juice from the fish,
Mm.
and there's a beautiful story that the way they used to, the sailors used to cook it is the emulsification came from the rocking of the boat, and it emulsified the olive oil and the juices from the bacalao, which made a creamy emulsion sauce served with potatoes. So, the dish like that.
Succulente.
Yeah.
Melt in your mouth.
Yeah, man. And the simplicity of that, but also the backstory. The idea, once again, you and I would probably agree that most memorable dishes we've ever had, and we can continue on the list there, but those peasant dishes, those dishes that, what is fine dining? It's refined technique to a specific recipe. But shit, many of the dishes that we love and enjoy and remember are usually peasant.
Yeah.
Very rustic, very simple, very uncomplicated, but obviously based on regionality, ingredient forward. So we can reference, Italy as a example of how culturally, depending upon what region you're in Italy, it's always ingredient forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, consistently.
And then the food in the south of Europe, like Italy, Spain, France. I definitely have been blessed to be able to travel there several times.
Yeah.
Hopefully again. And it's just great fucking eating. It's food that just never got fucked with. They didn't ruin their food systems.
Yeah.
It's just generationally passed down and it's straightforward. Look, man, one of the best meals I ever had was in Barcelona at a place called Bar Cañete. And later on that night, I went to dinner with my wife, Cassidy. We went to a 3 Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that restaurant, and I don't know the name of the chef.
Wow.
I had 21 courses.
Yeah.
It was definitely a 3 Michelin star experience.
Fire.
However, I could tell you all about the fucking food that I ate while sitting at the bar at Bar Cañete, and I will tell you that'll be the first place I go to the next time I'm in Barcelona.
Right.
So there's something about like making sure that your food isn't to the level of experimentalism to where you're trying to, I guess, when you remove the sense of place and soul and hospitality with food, and it's just about technique, I think you're taking... When you do it on that level, it's worth it. It's experiential.
Yes.
Right. But so many places will try and they will fail. And it's like, let's take it back to the basics. Let's just cook the food that we know is delicious and apply that skill set to really knock it out of the park. Now that's a really hard thing to do. And it's worth doing. I mean, it's what you do here. It's what I built my career off of.
Yes.
I mean, I got famous off of making a really good cheeseburger, Ricky.
Hey, I love it. I love it because everybody likes cheeseburgers, period.
What we did was pretty simple. We made the pickles. I had a fucking great recipe for a Russian dressing that was my father's from the 50s. We got a great local bun, great local ground, delicious beef, like sustainable meat. And really good cheddar, right? But all simple things. But I think maybe most importantly, we actually hit the temperature. If you ordered it medium rare, it was actually medium rare every time. You wanted it rare. You wanted it well done. We didn't fucking chastise you for well done. We didn't dry it out. We'd cook it to medium well and we'd rest it for 7 minutes.
Thank you.
Instead of 4.
I don't know.
And that's what it takes to just make one thing so fucking good that it matters.
I don't know why people shame folks if they want something well done, because there is a appropriate way to prepare a well done piece of meat without it being dry. And what you just said is exactly that. Medium well, let it rest. And it's just as good as any other temperature, because some people prefer that. You know
I
what
think
mean?
rare is more fucked up than well done personally.
Yeah.
Because rare is, but also rare is, from what I've learned as a student of the culinary arts,
Yes.
a heavy adopter of modern
Right.
culinary techniques
Yes.
and tools.
Yes.
Until I started using a sous vide machine
Yeah.
to achieve what like a real rare.
Yeah.
I don't think when people order rare, they're actually getting rare. Like
No.
120 degrees from fucking crust to crust.
Right.
No, normally what it is it's ice cold in the middle,
Absolutely. And it looked
raw
raw
in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe it hit 90 degrees.
Yep.
So the texture's off.
Absolutely. It's two separate textures.
It's kind of cooked and then it's raw, and then
Yep.
that's not actually rare.
Right.
And it's really hard to achieve actually rare
Right.
consistently.
Yeah.
Unless you're using a sous vide machine.
That is a fact. That is a fact, man. I will not debate that one.
And a lot of cuts of steak aren't that good rare.
Yeah.
Medium rare is really where I think it starts to medium. I think if you need to get it to medium so that you can get more sear,
Right.
more crust,
Right.
I'd
right,
rather
right.
have that flavor. And I think that when people order their meat well done,
Right.
more times than not, it's about texture, and it's that they want that deep crust, that sear.
That's right. That's right.
And who can fucking argue with that? That's what makes a cooked piece of meat. That's why we mastered wood-fired cooking.
Yeah, man. I mean,
So that crust,
that brown, that
browning.
that caramelization, that I'm gonna use the term crunch. I'm not saying crunch, but it's just that when you eat it. Okay, I'm gonna speak to a ribeye.
Mhm.
Okay, we know the anatomy of a ribeye. Okay, we know they got a little fat in between there. You get the spinalis there. Okay, you get all that. For me, I need that to be cooked in such a way to render some of that fat out.
Mhm.
But I also want someone to achieve a nice crust on it,
Mhm.
because that piece of meat, in my mind, medium is delicious. Medium rare, it can get sloppy. It can get kind of, like I said, particularly if they got a little, there's a fat inside of a ribeye sometimes where it sits there and it's kind of thick. And I want that to be rendered out a little bit.
Yeah.
I was having, me and my kids we were in New York City, and we talking about steak. We went to Peter Luger, and
Classic.
yeah, classic, yeah. And hey, I said, son, order the ribeye. And he said, Dad, so how should I order it? Man, order the way you want it. I want you to make this decision. That's on you. Do your thing. And so he ordered it medium. And he said, you know what, Dad, maybe I could have did it a little more medium well, because I wanted this little fat piece to be rendered out. Okay, so next time you do that.
And dude, here's what's crazy about this, because like sous vide cooking is, it's relatively new in terms of how widely adopted it is
Yeah.
now. But when my old man was coming up,
Yeah.
it wasn't a conversation.
No.
And so what a perfect medium rare or rare is different. And I've like taught him against his will
Uh-huh.
the value. You think that you've had rare.
Right.
Let me show you what rare really is.
Right.
And then there was a year where he did a rib roast for New Year's Eve. And
Yeah.
I said, Daddy, if you want it to really be rare, let's get 4 bone pieces,
Right.
no more than that, so that they're not too big.
Right.
And we're going to sous vide the fuck out of it at 120 degrees for like 8 hours. And
Right.
all that's going to do is break down connective tissue.
Right.
And it's going to start to break down the fat, so that the fat starts to get kind of like translucent.
Right.
So that when we go to sear it,
Right.
we get as much crust as we can.
Right.
And by the time it carries over, if we're good, it'll be a perfect rare.
Yeah.
But the fat's not chewy.
Right.
The fat melts in your mouth.
Right.
So there's no way, in my opinion,
Right.
to actually execute rare, or medium on a thick cut steak,
Right.
where the fat's going to melt through in your mouth without
Right.
sous vide,
Right.
because you can't cook it
Right.
quick enough.
Right. Right.
Especially if it's a thick, I
Right.
want a 1.5, 2 inch thick slab.
Yes. That's the thickness of a steak.
And sous vide ain't hard.
No, it
You
ain't.
just fucking bag it up and put it in a water bath.
That's
man.
it.
You just have to
That's-
understand the science of it,
Right.
and your times and your temperatures. And
Right.
obviously for me, I've done a lot of R&D. I mean, in my kitchens, man, like I
Right.
even sous vide my fried chicken before I fry it.
Right. Right.
And I don't put that on the menu.
Right.
I'm not like sous vide fried chicken.
Right.
It's just, it helps me get it cooked in a way that's consistently fall off the bone tender and
Right.
juicy
That's right.
without getting too dark.
That's right. Yep.
It's smart.
Yeah, it's smart cooking, absolutely, and we're using technology for that, and that to me is the sort of the evolution of the forwardness in cooking and cuisine. The idea that you don't have to be in a fine dining restaurant to use that type of equipment.
No,
You
it's $200.
Yeah, $200. You can do whatever you're doing in that. I don't know. It could be anything. I don't know.
Shit, I'm bringing 2 sous vide machines to Burning Man with me this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep that in my back pocket, man.
Yeah,
Consistency.
That's right. That's right.
A couple of robots.
Right. Dude, man, I got all the tools back here, and every time I do an event or something like that, okay, I'm gonna do this with this, I'm gonna do this with that. You know what I mean? But I think that a lot of the technology, a lot of the modernistic tools that we have in the professional kitchen now, just definitely necessary.
Mhm.
Escoffier talked about that.
Mhm.
Read Escoffier. He talked about how the cooks in the future will be cooking. He talked about the modernization of
Mhm.
modern cuisine and those tools that would evolve in it. And it's, I think Sammy, is so cool to kind of be a witness to how
Yeah.
the industry has changed. And that's another thing that keeps me excited, like being witnesses to things that have changed in the industry, man. It's cool as shit, man. Like what? I was just in New York City, and I went to a Corin to get me some knives. I got to treat myself,
Yeah.
And I went in there, man, just had a good time, just kind of looking at knives and holding them. And, it was almost like in a jewelry store. I got a couple of, let's add to my
Mhm.
collection. Will I use them? Sure will. If I won't, so what? It's for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's those little, I give them.
You're a collector.
Yeah, it's like the gifts. I gift myself because it's like a reward to myself. Like, man, I'm still in the game, man. So I owe myself something. Let me go buy myself something. Let me go get this whatever, and I went to JB Prince and I went to the Bowery,
Cool,
just kind
cool. Yeah.
of go around, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, you
What'd
gotta
you get? Did you get something?
Oh yeah. Okay, so I got knives.
Several knives.
Oh yeah, several. Yeah. I don't go there to get one, dude. I got
man.
I got two knives. I got a slicer, and I got a sort of a cook's knife.
Nice.
And let me see. I went to JB Prince, and I got what did I get there? I just got a little trinkets, man.
Some fucking silicone stuff. Some
what I didn't
ring
get
molds, like
what I
JB,
didn't
yeah.
get is tweezers.
Nice.
I didn't get any tweezers. I don't know why.
I fuck with tweezers.
I didn't-
So actually, so there's the tweezers that are like maybe like, I don't know, 12-inch tweezers.
yeah.
Those to me have become a quintessential tool. I use them like mini tongs. I don't plate with tweezers.
Yeah.
That's not,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that when people joke around about a tweezer chef, they're mainly talking about plating,
Yeah.
planting a microgreen inside of a dot of sauce to make it look like it's growing out of it.
Right.
And listen, like I've worked with Dominique Crenn,
Yeah.
who can do that shit on a level that will blow your fucking mind.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
most people aren't that good.
Right.
And I think that's where it gets to be funny.
Right. Got
If
it,
you're
got it.
actually the one that's doing it, like you set that bar, bravo to you.
Absolutely.
But the 12-inch tongs,
yeah.
Cassidy and I love them. She loves them behind the bar for garnishes.
Okay. Yeah.
Grabbing
yeah,
a cherry, and
okay.
I cook with them. I love to fry with them.
Yeah.
Mixing things around. They're very in a fry basket, making
Right.
sure my French fries aren't even sticking together.
That's
Whatever.
right. That's right.
Or
Right,
like
right.
I'll flip an octopus tentacle with it. Like it's
Right.
just, it feels a little bit more personal than like more of an extension of my hand than like a big old
Those
pair of tongs.
tongs. Right. And I agree with you. I agree with you that there's the tool is necessary for a specific task. You know what I mean? And once again, I am all about functionality
Mhm.
and use. Am I going to use these things? Sure, I'll use them. When I go to events, man, I got a specific kit that I roll with, and I pack it up and I put it through. And it's just those specific times, man, where I decide that, and for me, coming from where I come from, is just it has to be functional. My toolkit as it is now, I use everything.
Mhm.
When I'm traveling, I got my Kuntz spoons and little small note I want to share with everybody. I was in the kitchen when that spoon was designed. Okay, when Gray Kuntz first put those spoons out, like it was so cool to once again see it now, and it's like standard industry equipment. Every good cook, every good has that spoon, man.
I have a bit of it's cool to see things now
Yeah.
moment where when I was cooking in Raleigh in 2002 at a fine dining restaurant, we were cooking Anson Mills yellow coarse stone ground grits.
Yeah.
And I was just being taught how to handle them. You've got to rinse them. You've got to cook them low and slow
Yeah.
for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
These are really fucking special, yada, yada, yada. Well, I had this steep learning curve because it was the first fine dining restaurant that I'd ever worked in.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that product actually just made it to the market, that
Yeah.
Glenn Roberts had just put those grits on.
Yeah.
And then I was working for a chef that was very in tune with sourcing
Sure.
and with local heritage.
Yeah.
And it was man, I want to say like 15, 18 years after that I realized like, oh, wow, like we were early adopters of these grits and
Yes.
Anson Mills products in that kitchen.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of he's the grandfather
Absolutely.
of the modern day, Charleston Gold Rice movement, heirloom
Absolutely.
crops,
Absolutely.
field peas, bringing them back, getting them planted
Yep.
in that fertile soil in South Carolina. And it's cool to see.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Great example. I understand where you're coming from. It's new to some, but it's like, man, yeah, I remember when when it was, put on the stage and people started,
And-
Anson Mills,
So good. And Marchand Mill too. I'm not
that's
sure.
right. That's right. Yeah. Marchand Mill,
Greg
that's
does a
right.
great job, man.
Yeah.
I've been buying from him specifically for the last 4 or 5 years for my restaurants out in LA, and I
Okay.
got a pantry full of his stuff.
Yeah.
I love that he's made it so accessible. Like I can't go to a Food Lion down the street from me and get Anson Mills,
Right.
but I can get Marchand Mill,
Mills, right.
which is awesome.
And also something, another company, Geechee Boy.
So that was Marchand Mill.
There we go. Okay.
And he changed the name during the pandemic.
I see.
Because I think that he probably realized like it was the right move.
Sure.
Because he's a white guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
He's
So
a fucking middle-aged white dude.
yeah.
And,
That's right.
And there's a cartoon black kid on the fucking package, and it's called Geechee Boy.
Okay.
Now, I know for a fact that from his heart, that was meant to not be like a cultural appropriation.
Mhm.
There was no malice involved.
Right.
It was just of the best intentions, and
Sure.
that's why it was so widely adopted and why you remember the name.
That's right.
But he woke the fuck up when everybody else was waking up,
Gen
and he
4.
amended it.
That's right.
And you got to give somebody their kudos for that.
Amen. And I said that for that specific reason, so you can engage accordingly. Absolutely.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, and that was a wonderful level of maturity. Let's revisit. I know woke is a common word and everybody uses it, but like sometimes we like, okay, yeah, this is a good decision to make.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's cool to get smarter and mature and
Exactly.
continue to wake up.
There we go.
This is not a new concept, the idea of waking up.
Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
woke maybe is
Yeah.
a new word, but it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, shit, dude, listening to hip hop in the 90s and like, the RZA and like talking about supreme mathematics, trying to see things for the way they are and not what they appear to be. Like,
Ooh.
the grave diggers, remember that?
Yeah,
It was
the grave
like
diggers,
trying to dig people out of their mental graves
Yes,
and wake
absolutely.
them up.
Absolutely. That was all of 90s hip hop being woke.
Yeah.
That was all
It
of
was.
all of 90s
They just
hip
did
hop.
that wasn't the word. It was called lyricism.
Yes.
And then it started to be
MCN,
called like conscious, you know.
right,
Then it started to be, well, I think when gangster rap got its own little spot in the record store,
yeah,
then this idea of conscious hip hop
right.
came out. Oh, you listen to conscious hip hop, like fucking Mos Def or it was all conscious. I mean,
Yeah.
the biggest fucking single of hip hop during it was The Message, right?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
That was a conscious song about
absolutely
broken glass everywhere.
Told a story.
It was about the surroundings of coming up in a
right,
you know, in an underserved community.
Right, absolutely. It was a story. It was a news report. It was somebody mentally telling you what was going on in a specific environment.
Yeah.
From that came Illmatic. That
took the art form to a different place, you know. But Melly Mel was reporting live from the fucking hood.
Yeah, I mean
and that was the, you know. But dude, hey, I just saw Nas perform Illmatic in a tuxedo with the Boston Symphony Pops.
I saw that.
It was crazy.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
He's such a class act.
Oh man, I mean, you know, we can talk about top 5 another time in terms of MCs, but
I was driving here today and I was listening to Apollo Kids Ghostface Killer record, mainly because I wanted to hear the song with Black Thought. And as I was listening to it, there's this one point where he's been rapping for probably like 20 bars, and he's still going. And then he's like, I've been a G since a little kid. And you just fucking feel it. You're like, who the fuck says that? And I just said to myself, if Black Thought's not in your top 5, you don't know fucking hip hop.
Real talk. I mean, yeah, you know, you got to look at, I mean, you got your, I ain't gonna say commercial, but selling records.
Yeah.
I'm talking about artistry, flow, lyricism,
longevity,
and you know, you can, you know, the Carriers ones, the Big L's, the Gang Stars. For me,
gurus. Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, you know, in this short span, but man, him and Primo, they put it down, man.
Yeah.
They put it down, man.
Yeah, Primo, baby.
Yeah.
That's DJ Premier for all
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, DJ
No,
Premier.
for all of you people that aren't students of the culture,
right.
and who also produced, I think, at least one track on Illmatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know that Illmatic, part of what made it such an innovative record when it came out was it was the first rap album and in general that had multiple producers.
Yes. Yeah.
Before, this is so common now.
Yes.
But before that album, a producer would produce an entire album.
Right.
And so when Nas said, I want Large Professor to
do
a joint.
There you go. Large Professor.
Q-Tip to do a joint.
Yeah.
DJ Premier, Pete Rock.
Yeah.
It was like, it blew everybody's fucking mind.
Those were all the power players too, man. All those guys. I mean, Large Professor, people sleep on him a lot, man. That dude, man, he was him and sometimes, you know, I think about Large Professor, not over Primo, but just that, man, the influence he had on a lot of different sounds, man. But I listen to, I was this morning, Sammy, I was, you know, I'm always up, but I was listening to Big L and there was a freestyle. Woo!
Which one? Is it the one where he goes, ask Beavis, I get nothing but head?
I'm not sure, but it was one, man, where he said, look, man, I ain't feeling too good, something along the, I'm not feeling too good right now, or whatever. And man, the freestyle, the wordplay and the catchiness and the cadence, man, you know, and once again, all the greats, man, tend to leave this earth too soon. But man, he will always be in my top 5, period. Always.
He was grimy.
Yes. Yeah, he was, man, but
hip
hop is like authentic.
Not to listen, I love Big L. I'm not hating on him, but the thing that's interesting about Big L's body of work is that he didn't really put anything good out. Like, I don't mean good, like he put great hip hop out, but there isn't really a song where he like lets his soul bleed, where he like opens up and he isn't just fucking hood street.
Okay. Right? Let me. I hope you've heard a lot of his I need to send you something, man, because Grimy, that dude, I mean, he began there. I mean, he did one commercial, Put It On.
Well, I've only really heard like some freestyles, and then he's got 2 records, right?
Yeah, that's right. 2 records. That's right.
Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
And then
yeah,
there's
yeah.
the one that came out when he died
Yeah, uh-huh.
that they kind of put together.
Yeah,
So
there's
I'm always open to hear more.
yeah, there's a collaboration with him and a Big Daddy Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's super dope. But
I
yeah,
just never heard him talking about like, I love my mom.
No,
or
you won't. No,
you know what I mean? Or like,
Yeah.
I'm having problems in my relationship. Like he was always just a street soldier, which is fucking badass. But
yeah,
I mean, we just didn't have enough time with him on the earth to get.
there we go. That's the answer to your question right
making
there.
that music, I guess.
That's the answer to your question. That's right there, man.
He
was I mean, the amount of time he spent on the earth, man. I mean, he was in the beginning. If he would have stayed longer, I'm pretty sure, man, he would have evolved into a whole different realm.
Yeah. And there's definitely, there's a time around 1995 where if you watched him spit alongside Cameron and Jay-Z,
yeah,
their flows and their cadence were very similar. I don't want to say identical. And from what I've heard, Big L, he fathered that Harlem style.
I would agree 100%. I would agree. Jay-Z also definitely Big L influence. Definitely. I mean, if you listen to some of Big L's, once again, his cadences and that sort of portion in the song where he speeds up and everything comes together really rapidly, and he stops. Yeah, I hear that in Jay-Z all the time.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jay-Z's the greatest of all time in my, like, I would say Jay-Z's the Michael Jordan of rap. So we don't even have to put him in a top 5 bracket because we're just talking about a different thing.
Right.
But he's still doing it, which is like different.
Right.
It's music. It's not a sport. So
right.
He's still doing it, which, we're able to get some little nuggets here and there that are fucking like shit. He's still like, his flow is still able to improve, which is pretty remarkable.
Right.
But he's constantly changed up his style.
Yeah. Well, I would say, a lot of people would debate. I don't know. I'm talking about MC and people doing. Well, we talk about what they've done in the past and what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Who's active now? Who is like badass on the come up, and currently what they're doing.
You mean in terms of golden era?
Yeah.
Who the OGs that are? Well, I would definitely say like Talib Kweli. Is more active than like Mos Def is, but Mos Def is still, Black Star still does some stuff.
Right.
The Roots.
Yep.
Fucking still working musicians, and Black Thought is crushing.
Right.
Common.
Okay. Fair enough. Yep. I agree with that.
Jay-Z, Nas.
Yes.
Cameron. Look, Cameron put out a fucking verse. Like he spit a verse on the intro to like season 3 of his like he's got a YouTube show with Mace.
Yeah. I watched
like
that.
A sports show. Cameron put out a flow like a year or 2 ago that was the best I've heard from Cameron.
Wow.
Probably since like Come Home With Me.
Yeah, I've been peeping Jadakiss a lot.
Jadakiss never fell off.
Yeah.
But Styles P and Sheek Louch got better and better and better.
Yeah.
I'd say like to me, I used to be like, he's clearly better.
Yeah.
Now I think they're all holding their own weight on the song. Which is cool.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I once again this idea of how, once again, I'm a hip hop head, and I'm as old as hip hop, and and it's just cool to see that evolve, and that is the language of the planet. You see it; it has infiltrated everything.
Yeah,
everything in our lives, man. Like even, commercially, it's just everywhere. I'm thankful of LL for being a steward and a champion and trying to keep things alive and keep some level of order.
His new album that he put out, Q-Tip produced, that's a great album.
Yeah, man.
That's a great listen.
Yeah.
And he fucking went bar for bar with Eminem. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Eesh.
Everybody was like, oh, whoa. Like, come on, man. You know, like, look.
They were having fun.
Hey, straight lyricist, period, end of story, geniusly organizes words and syllables and letters in a word outside of the syllable. Like, masterful, period. Nobody can take that away from him. Nobody. Take all the bullshit about who's authentic and who's not, whatever. Okay? I can go back to the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Okay, I can go back there. Okay, they were hip hop.
Yeah.
Period. Okay, they were hip hop. So I just love the fact that
that's a really great, dot to connect because it's like nobody questioned. Eminem was not the first white rapper.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
But I think maybe coming off of the next white rapper after Vanilla Ice.
right.
The Beastie Boys have always been in good favor.
Absolutely. But still, even Vanilla Ice, he had his season. I know people want to hate on him, but everybody was bumping that. Okay.
Yeah,
they were.
It's like,
period.
It's like MC Hammer had his season.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was kind of as long as
Yep.
Vanilla Ice's.
Absolutely.
They were a weird little part of hip hop that
Right.
I think when the record industry saw its commercial appeal,
Right.
but the artist wasn't in control.
Right.
Because what happened was when Jay-Z came out, he was the I'm the artist and I'm in control. And
right.
so when he made poppy music to put out singles on his album,
Right.
the rest of his album still had the meat and the matter.
Right. That's
and he'll tell you that if you listen. He's like, but no, dummy, that's the shit I'm sprinkling the album with to keep the registers ringing. It's like, just listen to. So even that, like I saw an interview where somebody said to Jay-Z how Eminem murdered him on his own track, the Renegade song. And he said, did you listen? Go back and listen. Now, I don't have a dog in the fight. I was a huge fan of both of them when that song came.
Yeah.
I've always thought Jay-Z outflowed Eminem on Renegade. And maybe it's because I was living in the fucking hood in New York when that shit came out.
Right.
So when he was saying shit like
you felt
he talking about his back's against the wall, pockets full of lint.
Yeah.
This is an era of my life where I'm eating shit on a shingle.
There you go.
And if I'm lucky, I got a fried egg on top.
That's right.
And that's fucking right. And so like you're surrounded by that struggle and that feeling. And it was like his flow was flawless.
Yeah.
Just as flawless as Eminem's.
Right.
But the content of what he had to say, I just think had a lot more depth.
Yeah.
Because Eminem was just at that point rapping about, and I love Eminem, but he was just rapping about being the media scapegoat.
Yeah.
And it was like, how many times are we going to fucking hear
that? Yeah, exactly.
How many people can relate to that?
Right.
Now, Jay-Z, you can rap about the struggle your whole fucking life.
Right.
Why it matters is because you overcame it. And there's so many people that can relate with the idea, the struggle that he went through and see how far he went without a fucking high school diploma.
Yes.
Got a master's from Marcy Housing Projects.
Yes.
As he likes to say.
Right.
And that if you just do your shit and work hard, you can kind of do anything.
Pretty much.
Right? So I just think there's a universal message there that has so much more gravity that when you, and again, if you actually study his cadence, his lyricism, his double entendres, the movement of his flow, it's just as good as Eminem's.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it all depends on, I think sometimes when you're listening too, man, it's like certain time you listen to something, you hear it differently, you know? I go back to Coogee Rap, you know, I go back to Busy Bee, you know, I know I'm dating myself, but I'm a hip hop head. Okay. A young kid, but Busy Bee, like, you know, he's the party rapper, man. Like, there's room for everybody. You know, sometimes we all reference things as top 5, but you know, what does that mean? It all depends on how you're feeling. It all depends on what your mood is, where you're at in your life. You know, you listen to a certain MC, they speak to you because your back is against the wall, and that's what they talking about. So you connect with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes, man, I listen to like, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Wild Style.
Mhm.
Okay, Wild Style. Okay, yeah, Wild Style, man. I watched that film. You know, it talks about graffiti, all the elements of hip hop. You know, and what that means. You know,
Yeah, such a cool movie.
yeah, it's a very cool, man. It's, you know, some pioneers made that. They're still living today, and they can
Yeah.
speak to it, man. But I love the origin of things and how, you know, a bunch of black and brown kids created hip hop, man, out of trauma.
Mhm.
Let's
And
think about
hip hop
that.
is the culture, right?
Yeah,
And to go over what they shared in that movie, there's different like tenets
yeah,
of the culture, right? Graffiti is like the art form.
yeah. Graffiti, MCing,
I'm seeing.
b-boying.
Yep, dancing, b-boying,
Yeah,
DJing.
and DJing. That's the four. That's the four elements. Okay, and the thing is, it's like, you know, when you think about that, there was no corporate anything that happened. There was people in a struggle trying to figure out what the hell I need to be doing and looking around themselves like, the Bronx is hell. I'm living in hell.
Mhm.
I need to figure out an escape.
And I think these kids were like having fun and expressing themselves. And
Yeah.
like, dude, they looked like they were fucking WWF wrestlers. They were putting on costumes and shit. And
Absolutely.
they were coming up with names,
Abs-
like MC
yeah.
names, like battling on the street.
Oh man, I didn't.
Like better that than shooting out, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I was fascinated, man.
it was cool.
I was fascinated by it, you know, and coming up, you know, and learning about it and, you know, participating in it, you know.
And the 80s are fucking weird. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah,
off.
go.
The 80s are fucking weird.
And
Shit got weird in the 80s in a way that I don't just, it feels like bright red leather jackets and neon green lights and
Michael Jackson, dude.
people thinking about like what aliens look like and what the future, you know, the Back to the Future thing. And like, you got kids dressing up on the streets of the boroughs in costumes with like superhero names, like rapping against each other.
Yeah.
They made that up.
Yeah.
That didn't, it wasn't, they just came up with it.
Yeah.
That's how weird the fucking 80s were. And it was so cool that it turned into, like you said now, I mean, the Super Bowl halftime show, which is, I think, probably the most coveted musical performance spot
absolutely.
of the year.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
On television.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think about the 80s, man, that was a crazy, beautiful time, you know, the glove and the Michael Jackson stuff and, you know, and Back to the Future. Yeah. All that, man. It was now, I share with the audience. I you know, once a B-boy, always a B-boy. So back in the day, man, we had a crew, you know, and I did break dance and all that kind of stuff. And and people, you know, and people will always ask me because if I have a conversation about it. So all of what I did was, I was always the guy that did all the waving and the ticking and all that kind of stuff and all, you know, and it was a form of expression that also spoke to me as well, man. It really, I was a shy kid, technically. Okay. Prior to being a cook, I was an artist, meaning I drew, painted, all that kind of stuff. So that's how I got attention, Sammy. I got attention that way.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't as, you know, verbal a lot of times, you know, people perceive me as being shy. I wasn't shy. I just wasn't, you know, I was very cautious of who I talked to and who I was around. But that's how I got attention. That was my language. Yeah, I didn't say too much, but you know, if you saw something that I drew in school that was posted up, or you saw me at the jam, you know, and I was doing my thing, then that's sick. That was my way.
Did you ever do graffiti or?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I sure did. Yeah.
So I saw something that you were wearing this sick shirt with Bruce Lee DJing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Lupe Fiasco.
Absolutely.
How are we not going to talk about him? Okay, but anyway, I saw you said recently you had a post up on Instagram and you said, if I wasn't a cook, I'd have been a DJ.
Right. Absolutely.
Did you ever get into DJing, or is this something that you just have like always wanted to?
You know, honestly, you know, I never got into DJing, but I am the oldest grandchild, and all of my aunts and uncles were musicians. So I was a young nephew when my uncles were teenagers, and so
Wow.
I used to listen to, and they played in a band. My uncle played the bass, my other uncle played the drums, and my aunts they sang. So I heard music, and never got into that part of it. Nor can I play an instrument, but I've always been fond of music. So going back to wanting to be a DJ, I mean, obviously DJing spoke to me, and manipulating records and sounds, and the diversity in which a DJ took different records from different genres and made a crowd of people move that would never even listen to the record in its original form. That was amazing to me. I mean, like, what? Like, really, you took a John Wayne fucking Johnny Cash record and blended it with James Brown? Like, really? And then these people in this room, young black and brown kids, would never listen to them separately, ever. Maybe James Brown, but I'm just saying, like, and you just made the move. I just thought it was amazing. So yeah, if I had the time and the energy and can really focus on it, absolutely, man. I'll get me some turntables,
I think you're gonna.
Yeah, I believe I am too.
I feel like you're speaking it into fruition at this point in your life.
Yeah.
Hobbies are cool, man.
Yeah.
And if you do, I will push myself to write a verse.
Okay, good.
Spit a flow.
That's right. I'm going to hold you accountable to that. Hell yeah, man. We got to do. We're having fun in the hospitality business,
and no corny shit either. I'm not gonna be rapping fucking like chef puns. I'm gonna be digging up from my grimy ass roots and coming at you with some straight
fire.
Yeah,
it's gotta be straight fire, man.
Nothing nothing fake.
Right.
I won't be talking about selling drugs. I don't do that.
You don't do that. That's right. You got to be authentic. You know, that's what individuality and originality. That's what hip hop is based off.
Yeah.
Man. You got to be original. You listen to all the MCs back in the golden ages, man. They all sound different. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not hating on what's new now, because that's what people are listening to. That's what the industry is all about. Do your thing. But all I know is originality is all about what hip hop was all about. You were original, man. Everything about you were original. You look, who can I you listen like Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Really?
Fucking eye patch.
He is that guy still to me.
Yeah.
Even I'm gonna go.
He put out a record.
Yes.
Recently, that's very good.
Yes, absolutely. I enjoy listening to it, man. Kwame, you know what Kwame?
I don't think so.
Kwame was the dude with the high top face slanted to the side. He had a little swirl of gray in it back in the day, and he wore polka dots.
Wait, but was he in a group as well?
Yeah, he was. But
do you know what because I feel like I don't know him solo, but I know his group, whether it's like
I cannot call the name. I thought. I mean, he went solo majority of his career, but yeah, he was with a group initially. Yeah, I just can't call the name of the group right now.
Neither, neither can I. And then Busta Rhymes.
Oh yeah.
What was his group? That was an old school group.
Oh boy. Busta Rhymes so Busta Rhymes. I gotta Google shit now, man.
I know.
I can't remember all that.
I could have.
Yeah, Busta. He's been so prominent by himself.
Yeah,
you forget about from whence he came.
was in a pretty good group in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like if you or I said the name, we'd be embarrassed that we couldn't come up with it.
Right. That's what I'm trying to think about it.
Is Boys in the name?
I can't call it, man.
I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, pulling it up right now. Yeah, man.
Kidding me, dude?
It drives me crazy here. Something crew. I don't know. I don't know if it's
something crew. All right. Well, I'm not looking at my phone. Is it World Class Wrecking Crew? No.
No, it ain't that. It ain't that. That's West Coast, I believe, right? I cannot call it to save my life, but I would say
Leaders of the New School.
There you go. That's it.
Right.
Leaders of the New School. That's right. Leaders of the New School. Oh my God.
That was like, yeah, because there was like a good amount of groups that kind of had like a very like tribal African.
Yes.
And that's what I was trying to think of was that cat.
Yeah.
Kwame in a group like that had like a very African sounding name.
I believe because that was when everybody was wearing medallions and things like that. So
And like tribal print.
Yeah, tribal print. Yeah. 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 I can't call his. I can't call it. But yeah, he's I've been watching him on a social, man, and he's just
he's so active.
Yeah, he's been talking about, he's a you know, he's in the comic books and figurines and stuff like that, but he's just been a big voice currently, man, on this idea of hip hop MCs, like dating themselves out, meaning like, just because you're getting older, that means you can't put out good music anymore. And I applaud that. I listen to some of his stuff that he has now, man. He still has a flow. He still sounds good, man. And he has a point of view to speak to now, even at his age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
the genre is still maturing as its founders are still alive.
Absolutely.
And I want to hear from them.
Absolutely.
And I want to,
we need to.
It's because it's weird. Like, it's like, rap can't be like a young man's sport. And
it can't.
Because I'm getting older and I don't want to fucking hear what a 20-year-old has to say about shit. They're making it up.
Absolutely. It's all manufactured. All right.
And some of it's true, but they don't know it. They're just saying it because it sounds good.
Right. There's some folks who are creative and thoughtful. Your J. Cole's,
I love it.
They still have that they've collected from the elders what it means to still be, all about the culture.
Yeah. And he's also old enough to like have some life experience.
Right. Exactly.
So, But yeah, I mean, because you look at like B.B. King. How old was he when he died? He was playing till the day he died, man.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we don't expect our musicians to stop. Like, when you think of a great jazz musician or a great bluesman,
right?
For me, the fucking older, the better.
Absolutely.
I just know there's going to be more authentic soul in that storytelling.
Yes.
And in the pain and in the joy that you're going to, and why would rap be any different?
Exactly. There has to be a place for it. There has to be a place for the people who are the origin. There has to be a place. I mean, Melly Mel, you still see him around talking and explaining themselves and protecting the culture and, making sure that nobody is miseducated. Because I remember, I don't know what I saw about him, but he was talking about, He was talking about Grandmaster Flash and DJing and what that means and all that kind of stuff. He was like, come on, guys, I know what happened. I was there. I mean, nobody, I guess
it's not lore, motherfucker. It's history and I'm still alive.
Right. His argument is, don't nobody call me. Like, and I'm like, damn, really? Dude.
Damn.
He was there. He was right there when everything jumped off, man. So, I'm like, I applaud you, man. Let them know. Like, they should be calling you and asking you questions.
Yeah.
Talk, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, man, it's like, I don't know how many people are actually going to get their flowers in this lifetime, but I do know, like, you got to put yourself out there. And so I'm sure that he just kind of took a seat back and chilled and whatever, but if he's got it in him to be active and to voice his opinions and to contribute, we want to hear it. We want it. You know what I mean? Like, well, you're still here with us. Right. We want to hear from our OGs and the founders.
That's important, man. Absolutely. It's important.
I mean, that's why it's like, it's a celebration when you see a new Slick Rick or LL Cool J album. Like, you've got to get excited about that and just play it.
Right.
And push yourself to understand why it's good. Because it has to be good.
Right.
There's no way it can't be good.
Right.
For any critic out there, fuck you.
Right.
This person's now in their 50s or 60s.
Yeah. They don't need to eat off of that no more.
They were great in the 80s.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me that this is not excellent music.
Absolutely.
You're the one that needs to understand why it's great.
That's exactly. A lot of these artists are not really eating off this music. I mean, somebody like LL, he's diversified, he's got so much stuff going on, but the pleasure of creating art. I think a lot of the OGs now, in my mind, they're creating art outside of, okay, I got to make these records, I got to do this, I got to do this to eat with. Nah, man, they have a responsibility. they have a presence, and they should access that. Like, come on, put some stuff out, man, so that people have a reference point to what's coming from a place of authenticity, like for real. This ain't
Well,
about
don't you kind of think that,
uh,
like, in some ways, and I wonder, do you think that in some ways, like, kind of you're at that place in your career though, where it's like you're you're kind of past the, like when you look at a younger artist, because
right,
as chefs, we're many things.
right,
We are creatives.
right, absolutely,
You don't have to call yourself an artist to be a creative.
right,
But all artists are creatives. And when you look at your journey and you see everything you went through, and now you're kind of at this OG status
right,
where it's like you now it's kind of like you don't have to do anything, but whatever you do is going to be with even more strategy and even more intention. And it's going to
yes,
be like, I don't have to rush around and constantly do this and say yes to this.
yeah,
I'm not trying to get there anymore.
yeah,
And so I'm trying to do less, more meaningful things.
yeah. I would say yes to what you just articulated. I'm in a space where I want to spend time being creative, like for real, like, or collaborative activities and opportunities that affecting some real change. I want to do fun stuff. Make no mistake about it. But yeah, man, I'm in a place, man, where I've I've I've, I've done a lot of wonderful things, and I've seen the ebbs and flows of the industry and the ins and outs and the regurgitation of things. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. Like, all right, I'm thankful for being here in this time.
Hmm.
Still here, and frankly, still present. I mean, people still uh, enjoy inviting me to things, and I appreciate it. I'm super elated that, like, man, this is so cool, man. I get to go and do this and do that, and but yeah, man, I'm in a place, man, where I just want to be an assistant to someone or assist other people to move up and move out and celebrate themselves. Like, what can I do for you? That's where I'm at right now.
Hmm.
What can I do for you? What can I do to help? What can I do to assist? I'm not saying that you're lacking anything because I'm here to be a influence on. No, what I'm saying is, hey, man, I'm just a steward, and I enjoy being in
Hmm.
that capacity.
Well, I think that you definitely have the life experience and the career experience, 30 years, to be in that phase where you're a mentor.
Yeah.
But you're also, I think, still pretty young.
Yes.
I don't know how old you are, but if I had to guess, I would say you're in your 50s.
Yes, absolutely. 55 to be exact.
And so you're 300 years older than me. You're definitely big bro, right?
Right,
I'm
right,
like
right,
J.
right.
Cole middle child.
Right,
I'm
right,
42.
right.
But no, but in all seriousness, like, you're one of those cool motherfuckers in his 50s, like that I want to hope to be, where it's like
Right.
you're actually in your prime
Yeah.
and you're only getting better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
more capable.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you thought
yeah.
you were really good in your 40s, but now you're like,
Oh,
holy shit. So yeah, like, to have the reflection and the duty to say, I should mentor and like value that. I agree with that. I mean, to me, it's one of the most teaching a cook
Yeah.
lessons that I spent my whole life learning,
Right.
that I've decided were worthwhile to pass on, is the most rewarding thing that I will ever do
Yeah.
as a chef.
Right.
And
Right.
that's a great responsibility.
Yeah. 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 And the longer you're in it, that's what you're supposed to do, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The longer you're in it, you are obligated to pass along what you know. Okay. For those who are open to receiving it. Let me say that. Because, once again, I've never been a fan of force feeding anybody anything.
Mm-hmm.
I am willing and able and more than happy to do so, but I do protect that as well. Will spend as much time as with you if you want to spend with me.
I think that, man, I'm just kind of realizing something it's gonna improve how I do things.
Yeah.
for the rest of my life
Yeah.
through this conversation.
Yes.
And also this is the beauty of what happens when two people come and sit and talk and they share their repertoire,
Yeah.
is that you're actually sharing it. Like, I'm expanding my paradigm and my repertoire by learning from you. And that's
Vice versa.
one of the things that I think is so cool about the show, and
Yeah.
my goal of the show, not just for us, but for anyone listening. But
Yeah.
it's like what you made me just realize I can do to take a more proactive role
Right.
with building better teams,
Yeah.
is setting that standard when I go to hire people.
Yeah.
Because I know who I think are my best employees,
Yep.
and they're the people that take the most time out of my life.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it because
Yeah.
they need me.
Right.
And it's the people that don't need me that I don't connect with, and I don't think necessarily are the right fit for the team.
Mhm.
And it shouldn't necessarily be like a you problem or
Right.
a me problem,
Right.
but in a way to articulate it in a constructive manner
Yeah.
where you can create tangible goals to achieve, to say in the interview process, like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm at a place in my life where, like, I really want to give back.
Yeah.
I want people that want to learn. I'm going to keep learning. So
Yeah.
you'll probably teach me some things,
Absolutely.
but I'm looking for somebody who needs something out of me.
Right.
And I'm going to be the person to give it.
Right.
And this is anything. This is life advice. This
Yep.
is compassion and empathy when
Mhm.
you just need a break.
Yeah.
This is somebody to push you,
Right.
to make and be hard on you when you need to be better and get over your bullshit, whatever it is.
Right.
But maybe by like explaining that and understanding that that's where I'm at,
Yeah.
and that's the relationship that I want to have with my team,
Right.
that'll help me find the right people,
Yeah.
more of the people that I want to be with
Right.
and be a part of their lives, for the rest of my life.
Yeah. 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 It's needs. I need something out of the deal. And I'm not being selfish, but I need to be inspired too as a leader in this environment. I need people around me. I can't be the complete nucleus of inspiration. I am human. That I need something around me, individuals that can say, hey, chef, this, that, yeah. And I'm like, oh, really? That is fine. I hire people in my mind too, or let's not say hire, that gather specific people around me, because it's not always about the business, but activities, events. I want people around me who also inspire me, who I believe have that sort of inspirational behavior or tick in them as well, because I need it too. It just can't come directly from me all the time. I mean, we're human, and sometimes we ain't there. Sometimes we are not inspirational. Sometimes we're not full of joy. Sometimes we're like down, out, crippled mentally, sometimes trying to figure out how to redirect or pivot, and that's only the human condition. We're going to be that way. That's what makes us human. But for me, man, I need people around me who inspire me. I tell my cooks that all the time. Like, yo, what you got going on new? Anything going on happening? Well, hey, what you do this weekend? What you got going on? Let's engage, because outside of my title and our professional relationship in this kitchen, I'm just an individual just like you, trying to take care of their family, and hopefully I can share some information with you and you can share some information with me, and we having a good time with it. That's kind of how I think about things. I need inspiration as well. I think a lot of people feel like, well, let me rephrase that. Chefs need to be inspired too by others. Okay. And not just from a professional culinary perspective. Just
Oh no, it's so complex.
yeah,
But you're right. I mean, I need to walk into my, like, if we're talking about the workplace and we're talking about the restaurant, I need to walk into my place and feel like an energy that inspires me, because my people are just like fucking awesome in their own right. And
by themselves.
It'll bring the best out of me.
Yeah, man, they're awesome by themselves without you. Without you saying or doing anything. Like, hell yeah, man. I'm gonna give you an example, real life example right now in the restaurant. One of my employees, his name is Tavion. Okay. Tavion came to me as a young guy, man. He had never had a real official job. He had done small little jobs here and there, cutting grass or working on roofs, getting paid under the table, shit like that. And he came to me, he just lived right across the street, and he was looking for a job. And he came to me with no restaurant experience at all, okay? he came in and he sat down and talked with me. And, and he tells me this all the time. He said, Chef, I was very intimidated by how you was engaging me. I said, for what? I didn't do anything but have a conversation with you. He said, no, you didn't. It wasn't just a conversation. The questions you asked, your tone in your voice, your posture, how you engaged me, how you extended me courtesy, how you offered me a bottle of water because it was hot outside. I'm like, Tavion, those are basic fundamental courtesies. I mean, I don't know anything else. But he said, look, Chef, nobody treated me that way. I didn't know how to receive that. So yeah, it was new to me. It was new the way you respected me enough to bring me in, have a conversation, spend that much time talking to me. And then, after that talk, I didn't know if I was going to come back. And I said, what? And I asked him why. He said, well, because I wasn't used to someone talking to me like that, with those words, telling me examples, engaging me, and allowing me to be present with you without you talking at me. You were talking with me, and I said, well, I don't know any other way to do it. Okay, I needed you to understand that if you come aboard here, this is who you're going to be dealing with. That's who I am. I'm not one to sugarcoat, or I'm not one to gently say something. I am here to get clarity on, is this the place that you will be here and find opportunity? That's what I was digging deep for, because I know where you came from. So I need to be cautious of who I bring aboard here, because I got a culture here I'm trying to protect as well. But also I wanted you to understand, like, hey, here's what I had to offer. Does it fit your needs and where you're at in your place in your life? So he decided to come back, and he's been with me for 5 years.
I love that.
And he's leading the operation.
Man, that's great.
Yeah.
What a success. It means the world. I'm gonna try to get through these last few
Okay.
questions only because oh no, dude, this is great.
Well,
I'm not gonna cut much of this out at all. If this is a 3-hour long episode, fuck yeah. I think it's great. But I don't know how long that battery's gonna not so I'm like, all right, let me go through this is the best case scenario. We could talk forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and going back on these flavorful fives.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show is.
Oh boy.
Is that we talked about street food and fucking forgot about these flavorful fives. Because look, this is not a gimmick-based show.
Yeah.
This is let's have a real conversation. But I am curious about this. What is that one spice that to you is like the holy grail of spices?
Oh, the one spice. Woo! Let's see here, man. These are all hard questions, because one spice is I'm gonna say coriander. That's the first thing that comes in my mind. I like coriander. I like coriander seeds. I like the notes that it has. I like when you combine it with other things, how it, brings out this citrusy, lemony sort of thing happening. I like that. I like coriander seeds. Let me be clear. Coriander seeds. I like that.
Yeah, right on.
Mm-hmm.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
There's other chefs that have answered coriander.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's a great fucking little spice.
Yeah. And the
citrusy, you hit it on the head. There's this citrusiness about it.
Right.
That makes it really cool.
Right. And also when you toast it, now it becomes even more complex. Now the whole thing changes. And so I'm gonna say coriander.
Heard. What's an ingredient that you probably overuse but don't care?
Ingredient that I overuse but I don't care. Ingredient.
For me, it's Parmigiano Reggiano. I will make it fucking rain with that.
Really?
And be like, oh, that's enough cheese. No, it's not. And keep going.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. So what does that mean for me, man? I don't know, man. I mean, I use a ton of it and I don't care. These questions are challenging because I'm so all over the place with what I do. Olive oil. Yeah, I'm gonna say olive oil.
Right on.
Olive oil, man. I can never stop. I won't stop. I will toss that around in salad or toss it around in vegetables. I will I will baste chicken with, I'll baste meat with, I'll rub it on my hands, man, put it on my ashy elbows, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, good olive oil. I mean, honestly, I can never not use enough of that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Inside note really quick. I'm pretty sure that Renee Erickson's favorite spice was coriander and overused ingredient was olive oil. So like, all right, this is interesting. You guys are kindred spirits, coast to coast.
Yeah.
All right. You can only eat at one restaurant for the rest of your life. Okay. Now you can cook anything you want. You could eat at your own restaurant.
Yeah.
But you can, every time you go out and have a meal prepared for the rest of your life, it's only one restaurant. This is like just a concept, right? So don't think about time or place and where it is in the world, or even, if it's still open. You can transport there,
Right.
but you're only going to get to eat there and only there every time you go out.
Oh boy.
My answer is barcañete.
Barcañete? Let me see. Let me see. Oh boy. So many different restaurants, man. So many different restaurants.
I'm stumping you, dog.
Yeah. Because it's so hard to say that because so many different experiences. I'm gonna say the restaurant that me and my wife went to called a Picius, and that was in Paris. I would eat there every day.
Classy.
Yeah, I would eat there every day. It's called a Picius, chef-owned restaurant. He was a hunter, but when we went there, we had magical experiences there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was
magic. Yeah, because you're gonna go with your wife.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You're gonna take your kids. And
yeah. But I got to think about my wife too, because a Picius.
It's a good call.
Yeah, and during that time, it was delicious eats, man, and it was once again a nice. It was a nice place, and we enjoyed ourselves.
What time was this?
Oh, this was
circa.
It was 2000. This was during 9/11.
Okay. Jeesh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that because
guy's been going out to eat with his wife since 9/11.
Bro, okay. Let me speak to
quadruple OG status.
Let me speak to something and I don't want to sound braggadocious, man, but man, me and my wife, man, Norma, we've been going out to eat, man. We was at the French Laundry back in the day when it wasn't even you know what I mean? We were in Napa Valley.
Culinary kids were the only people that knew about the French Laundry.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Critics.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Sammy. We was doing that thing we was in Michelin star way before it was cool and I remember specifically, I'm sorry to get off on tangents, but man, we just having a wonderful conversation.
Oh, I love it.
I remember going to lunch at the French Laundry. We didn't have no reservation at all. We went to Yountville. We got us a motel there, and we just freestyled that shit. We was like, whatever. We just gonna show up and we're gonna see what happened. And what happened was, first of all, I'm gonna speak to this. During that time, the demographic in French Laundry was not two young black folk or black couple. It was not. What I believed happened, I cannot verify this. And my wife also believes the same thing. We went up to the French Laundry with no reservation for lunch, and somehow we got in. What I believe happened was, I remember seeing Chef Thomas Keller peek out. And what I believe happened that he probably said, let those two young couples in. I don't never see this shit. I don't ever see two people like them coming into this restaurant to eat. Find them a table. That's what I believe. I cannot validate it. All I know is, Sammy, we didn't have a reservation. We walked up in that joint and that was it. And in hopes of, and I was kind of let down because I couldn't get it done. And during that time, it was hard to get a reservation at the time, but I believe that happened.
Hell
So
yeah.
I believe like, and we sat down there and we sat for 3 hours, man, and got supplemental courses, man. We were chowing down and, the experience, he came out to the table and it was real shit, man. So
I love that.
that's what I think happened. That was not,
Usually I find that people's gut instincts
yeah,
in moments
Yeah.
that you have a good, it's almost like I hate to use this as an example,
yeah,
but it's, if you've ever been, and I'm sure you have been,
yeah,
we don't need to get into this, but
yeah,
if you've ever been subject to racial profiling,
yes.
and when somebody wants you to like prove it,
hmm
and you're like, I just know that's what was going on. I
Yeah.
could feel it.
Yes.
This is almost like a positive side of that,
Yes.
where it's like,
Yes.
it worked out to your benefit that Thomas Keller is a good guy. And he said, dude, like, let me fucking go out of my way to let this couple come in here and experience this.
Absolutely. That is a wonderful thought process you just shared. Yeah. It reversed. I mean, he didn't have to. I mean, bottom line is, back then, it was 6 months wait to get into French Laundry, period. Lunch or dinner. How did that happen? That's my only assumption. And so we always cherished it. And then fast forwarding, when 9/11, me and my wife moved to Paris, for a year. And we saw him at Fouchon, which was very weird, at the little jelly candy, the little jellies.
Yeah.
We went there and he was coming out, and we engaged, and it was so crazy.
That's cool.
It was so
That's
crazy.
so crazy when the world will like have you cross a path of somebody
Yep.
that you don't know, but you know.
That's right. That's right. And once again, very authentic experiences, wasn't that? But yeah. So I forgot. We were going down to Tasty 5.
No, dude, the tasty 22. Dude, but seriously, thanks for helping me get Thomas Keller on season 2.
Hey, sorry. That's my experience. That's what happened to me.
Sounds like he's a stand-up guy, and
Yeah.
I should be crazy enough to try to get him on the show.
Might as well. Don't be scared, man. Do it, man. Do it. Hey, and nobody is not accessible. I mean, in this day and age, in my mind, we all close knit. We're a plane ride away. We're text away. We're a phone call away. We're, like, nah. Accessibility is easy.
Heard, chef. Last question.
Yeah.
What is a dish that satisfies your soul, but you have to cook it because the ritual and joy of cooking it brings you back to center?
Oh boy. So I'm going to say right now in the moment, right now, croakers are in season.
Woo.
Ta-da! They're in season. And that's going to bring me center. And it's going to bring me center. And I got a photograph, but when I first opened my business, where I had a plate on a wooden table with one piece of white bread and a fried croaker that had been scored, boom, that was the dish. And I posted that. That is my reference point. I can share that picture with you right now. But
yes,
yeah, that's it. That will bring me to center. That will bring me center. This cooking those fresh, and the old timers would describe croakers or spots as pretty, not pretty. All right, that's PRIDDY. That's the vernacular that I'm speaking to, not pretty or pretty. So I had some pretty croakers that came in on Saturday, man, and they were beautiful. So, I would say that dish centers me, and the reason why is, once again, it's very simple, very straightforward. The joy in eating croakers for me is the simplicity of having white bread as a balance or counterbalance to this highly seasoned, fried whole fish, where it's properly seasoned, and you have to eat it right out of the fryer just because, the goal is with the white bland bread is to pinch off where the meat has been scored. Okay, and you eat that. And also that bread becomes a cushion just in case you get one little small bone in there. It will cushion things going down. So
Sheesh.
there is also centers me because that is when growing up, that was a rite of passage, right? You were issued your whole fish for the first time, and damn it, if you got choked, you got a piece of bread to push it down, and you move through it. And once you get through it, then hey, now you are now beyond. You can have your own croakers forever. So I think that is
I
sort of like
love that.
the dish that kind of centers me right now in the moment.
Are you doing like hot sauce and vinegar with that, or what do you do these days?
For me, it's more of you gotta have hot sauce and I gotta have vinegar, man. That's the origin. That's how I used to have them growing up. We would keep them whole, S&G. That means scaled and gutted, or depending upon who was cutting them that day, because it all depends on they were caught and then somebody had to cut them and scale them and gut them. So sometimes they split down the back. They cook faster and you can navigate that meat more. And there's also more things to eat and crunch on when you open them up. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So because you have more surface there.
Yeah.
So but yeah, man, that's my dish, man. White bread,
A pretty croaker.
A pretty croaker that's fried nice and crispy and served hot. Some hot sauce, a little vinegar. That's it. That's all I got.
Man, and listen, it was definitely like a career highlight for me to get to stand next to you doing frying some bonefish up last year.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it really was.
That was a beautiful thing.
But I'm excited to just kind of watch you do your thing and then get to eat it.
Right on.
I've eaten here before, but I think it's going to be a little different when you're just taking a minute to step aside to cook this up.
That's right.
For the show.
That's right.
Because you're really just going to be putting that soul and that thought and that intention, and I get to taste it, and I'm very, very thankful.
No, man, this is the pleasure part of this. This is the pleasure part. The pleasure part is cooking for someone you appreciate, you believe in, you trust, you are inspired by. That's the give and take. So I'm excited, man. We're gonna do this.
Thank
you.
We're
gonna do this.
Heck yeah.
Go get a little.
Dude, I'm gonna grab one of these. This is
yeah, sure.
Is this a lavender?
You know what?
Saltwater taffy?
I don't know what it is, man. See what happens.
That's soft. Listen, before I get to smacking on this saltwater taffy that I've been eyeballing for 3 hours, okay? I'd like to say to all of you out there, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Repertoire is part of Heritage Radio Network, where we're on a mission to build a more sustainable, equitable food future. And your engagement is what keeps the lights on. So if you dug today's episode, please hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. The Good Food Movement is all about community, and together we can make a meaningful impact.